Hey everyone, my name is Helen Hudson. I'm the founder of Safe Showings. I'm also a realtor in Charleston, South Carolina. So it's interesting to see the person in Michigan, the snow in the background. We don't get snow here very often, but I really appreciate your time. What I'm going to share with you is first, you're going to see a short video. It's about a minute long. It's a high level view of who we are. Then I'll explain what happened to me as a realtor in Charleston, what motivated and inspired me to create a safety solution for our industry. I'll talk about my research. I've spent 6 months looking at the NAR website, looking at safety resources and what I was looking for specifically. I'll share with you a short video of how the app works. So this is a tool that your Women's Council of Realtors has invested in for your safety. If you don't remember anything you hear today, do not go to the App Store to download. If you do, you'll have to pay for the app. We want to make sure you use the embedded link that's provided. I believe it's in the chat room, but you'll be able to get it for free. So make sure you do wait and use that link. If you do go to the App Store, we'll get you straightened out. Don't worry about it, but I don't want you to get frustrated. It'll take about 24 hours for us to get that resolved, but we'll go ahead and get started. And feel free. I'll have plenty of time to answer questions.
Did you know that over 760,000 real estate professionals have had situations where they feared for their safety when they enter a property alone with a stranger? The Safe Showings mobile app was developed by a realtor to give real estate professionals proactive control over their own safety. It is quick and easy to record names, automatically capture exact GPS addresses, and it prompts you to capture a secure image of each potential buyer's face, a feature unique to Safe Showings. Over 200 real estate professionals have been murdered in the last decade while showing homes to prospective buyers. Safe Showings provides protection and peace of mind for real estate agents, homeowners, and potential buyers as it aims to deter crime before it starts. With Safe Showings, real estate professionals and their loved ones feel more secure, knowing that Safe Showings will automatically notify them with identifying details and geolocation in an emergency. For more information, visit safeshowings.com. Find Safe Showings in the App Store or Google Play today and start feeling safe during showings and open houses.
Almost 4 years ago, this coming March, I was a new realtor. I'd had my license for about 6 months. And I received an internet lead to go work with a buyer. I set the appointment to meet them on a Saturday at 2. And when I drove up to the neighborhood, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. It just didn't feel like a safe area. But I parked my car. I wait for the buyer to arrive. He arrives. We go in the home. And I stayed toward the front of the house because I was feeling a little uneasy. It's a small home. He goes to the back of the house and he gets on his cell phone. A minute later, a truck drove up and 2 men jumped on the porch. And that's when my heart stopped. I thought, oh my gosh, nobody knows where I am or who I'm with. And I'll never forget that feeling of fear that I felt that day. I knew I never wanted to be in that situation again. Thankfully, though, I'm here to tell the story. What happened was the people that jumped on the porch were driving by. They saw the for sale sign. They saw my realtor magnet on the car, and they thought it was an open house when they saw the door was open. I regained my composure. I gave them a card. I told them I was working with a buyer and to call me for an appointment. But I left that situation changed. And as you heard, NAR tells us over 38% of realtors have had situations like I have where they feared for their safety. When I go to trade shows, I traveled for 2 years. Everybody comes up and tells me their story. So we know there's a valid problem. But I did my own research and I found that over 200 realtors have been murdered in the last decade. You may recognize the most recent face, the lady in the middle. She's from Florida. This was, I believe, December. This gentleman's from Virginia. But I've read their stories. That's part of my passion is I printed out their stories and I want to make a difference for our industry. I've been looking for my purpose for many years and I just didn't think it would be a technology solution. But you probably have heard about Beverly Carter. I'm friends with Carl, and Carl told me, Helen, I think if my mom had had Safe Showings, that could have saved her life. That's my other reason, my why for doing what I do. Not only are we at risk working with buyers and sellers alone as realtors, but we could be putting the homeowner the seller at risk, not on purpose, of course, but if you think about it, if your house was on the market, I could bring in someone that's interested, not knowing they have a criminal background. They can look and see where the security systems are, where your child's bedroom is, and where you store your valuables. They could come back in 2 weeks or 2 months and harm you and your family. But because our industry doesn't have a law, policy, or mandate, we don't know how many crimes are committed against the homeowner. I think that should change. Right out of college, I managed apartments in DC. And even in the 80s, in 1986, we were asking our renters that want to see an empty apartment, surrender a driver's license. We would hold it in the front office, and that kept the renter accountable, knowing that they could be caught. But we represent the largest commodity, a home where children live and valuables are stored, and there's no accountability across the country. I would like to see that change. These are the products on the NAR website, and I spent 6 months looking at the products that are there. We've been there 4 years, and what I was looking for is something, a tool, a way that I could tell every buyer and seller I'm in control of safety before I ever meet with them. I also wanted to solve the fear I felt when I said, nobody knows where I am or who I'm with. And I could not find it. You can see at the top line, there are other products that will alert your emergency contacts where you are, but that's not going to do you any good if a crime is committed. All it does is tell your 3 emergency contacts where to find the body, but not who committed the crime. If you use a gun, if you don't tell everyone you carry a permit and you have a weapon, they don't know you're in control. That's reactive. It would have been too late for me almost 4 years ago. Even a background check, if we don't tell people we're running a background check before we meet with them, they don't know we're in control, and there could be a housing violation. We want to be consistent with every buyer and seller we work with. If I had to rely on a lockbox or jewelry, that's too reactive. It wouldn't have saved me that day. Proactive approaches are when criminals think they might have a risk of being caught. That's their biggest fear, is getting caught, not the punishment of the crime. So we have to be beacons for safety, almost like a doorbell camera. They need to know we're in control before we meet with them. So we teach realtors, before you set your buyer or seller appointment, when you're in the safety of your office, just make a simple statement that you're comfortable with. Something like, hey, our Women's Council Association is passionate about safety. We're required to use Safe Showings. It's a realtor safety app. And I'll have required to take an image before we go in a home. It's whatever verbiage you're comfortable with, but we supply the safety best practice talking points for your association. So you'll have access to this, and just, again, make it comfortable and for you. Arriving to the property early, we all know to do that, but while you're in the safety of your car, you press a button that says create showing and the timer starts. The next thing our app will ask you is, who are you meeting with? We all know who we're meeting with because we set the appointment. So you auto-populate that, and you'll see it in the demo in just a second. Then when they drive up, you get out of the safety of your car, you greet them, and you say, hey, we use Safe Showings, as I mentioned on the phone. Let's go ahead and get that photo. And you can do a selfie with them or just take a photo. If there's 4 people, it's 1 snapshot. It's not 4. We like to keep things simple. You'll be getting a copy of a monthly safety newsletter that reminds you safety tips and how to keep safety top of mind. It'll have that flyer with the link that's for your association. It just reminding you, if you haven't taken advantage for the paid for benefit, go ahead and do it now. Just do not go to app stores. And we have a safety toolkit. This is a Dropbox folder we'll provide you. You can download the open house flyer. You can create or download the rider sign and take it to a print shop, or maybe someone will print a bunch of them and you'll have them in your source or your store. But what this does is it tells every buyer that rides by or goes to that listing property that agent cares about safety. I'm going to remember them when I sell my house. But it tells every criminal, ooh, I see cameras, I might get caught. And that helps to deter crime. They don't want to get caught, so they'll go to a property that they don't think is much of a risk. Here's a demo of our app.
By downloading the Safe Showings app, you're proactively preparing to take advantage of more secure client contact when conducting open houses and showing appointments. Start by entering the emergency contacts of your choice, like friends, your broker, or family members. It's an easy one-step process. The app features an easy-to-adjust timer feature that will alert your emergency contacts if you've not responded during the time frame you have set. When showing properties, the app will track your exact location via the GPS feature. You can autofill your appointment's information right from the contacts in your phone. You can see that the app provides significant safety at this point, but there's more. When first meeting with the appointment, use your phone to snap a photo of the client. Research demonstrates that this approach is the best way to deter criminal behavior. Now your contacts will be notified if you don't check in based on the timer, and identifying information based on the photo from your showing. All of these features give you accountability for safely doing business during your showings and open houses. Following each showing, the app gives you the opportunity to make a record of the appointment. The app provides free form notes that the app will store for you. By the way, the Safe Showings app saves all the information from each showing so that you can go back and review your opportunities for sales. The open house feature provides the same great security options. Always be sure to get the facial image for all contacts during your open houses. There is a handy 5-star rating system for your showing contacts. This, along with your notes, can alert you and others of potential problems from a suspicious person or from any previous showing.
I usually hear a lot of the same questions, and so I take a few minutes to share those questions with you. It might be something that you have that you want to ask. People will ask me, Helen, why do you get an image of a face? Number one, with that first picture you see here. What do the buyers and sellers say when you set the appointment and you tell them, hey, I'm required to use Safe Showings. I need to get a photo of everyone before we go in a property. And the third question I hear is, where's the image stored? Well, the why is the first version of my app 6 months after I had that situation happen. I was passionate about getting an image of a driver's license. That came from my background in property management. I went to the NAR conference in DC the following May just to observe, get ideas before I traveled for 2 years. During the 2 years before the pandemic, I went to about 45 trade shows and events to promote our app. But at that event, you can't make this stuff up, right? There's a guy standing in the hallway at the top of the stairs, and he looks like Duck Dynasty. He's holding 2 cups of coffee, and he says, who are you? And I jumped back. I was already startled of his appearance. And anyway, we're business partners. He's from Charleston. He saw me on the airplane. He saw me 2 more times. He said if he saw me again, he was going to find out what I do. And when we met in Charleston, he said, Helen, why are you getting an image of a driver's license? I told him my story, and he said, no. You need to get an image of a face. His background's in artificial intelligence. He wrote code that launches missiles. He said, think about it. When you're using your camera, people can't fake their face, right? And when you tell them you need to take a quick photo or whatever, they can't say they forgot their face. But a license, we know what errors can happen with that. So that's why we get an image of a face. It's the most accurate way to help authorities. We gave this presentation to the chief of police and his team, and they said, you're making our job so much easier. The second thing people say, what do the buyers and sellers say when you tell them on the phone that you are going to do this? They're going to respect you. They're going to remember you when they list their property. And in our world today, more than ever, we should be in control of safety. We work alone. If they push back or argue with you, it could be what saves your life. I would choose to work with someone else. But we had a roundtable discussion in our office and with other realtors. And you have to admit, in today's world, your picture's on the cloud. We're going by doorbell cameras. You go by ATMs. You go in and out public buildings. Even highways have ways to take photos now. So someone, if they know about images, they shouldn't be pushing back. Criminals are going to not show up when you tell them that. And that's the whole purpose of having that conversation before you meet with everyone. They're going to look for someone that doesn't have a policy for safety. The third question I hear is, where does the picture go? It does not go to the phone section, camera section on your phone. It goes to our cyber secure cloud. So if you're attacked in the front yard after you get ready to meet with the folks in the front yard, and you tell them you're taking a photo and your phone is destroyed, as long as you do what we teach and you've started the showing in the safety of your car, by pressing a create showing button. The next thing happen is this is going to start at 45 minutes and count down. That's the main screen. If you've done that, then even if the phone is destroyed, your 3 emergency contacts are going to be sent the last location of the phone, who you're with, because you did that before you got out of the safety of your car. And if you're able to capture any image, they'll be able to see that as well. The main screen starts at 45 minutes and counts down. I teach realtors to reset your timer. Don't wait till it counts all the way down. You're probably not working with a criminal if you use the process we teach. When it gets to 5 minutes, it's going to say, are you safe? Reset your timer. You just press reset timer. If you can push buttons, you can use this app. You don't have to type anything in this app. I kept it real simple. As you drive to your second showing, you reset this. It goes to 45 minutes. Street by street, road by road, it's capturing every single road that you're crossing. Is so cool. When you put the car in park, it saves that second address. The menu section of our app is the top left corner, like every app. There's the end showing button. If you finish a showing, you press that. This is the menu section. You'll be able to see all your showings, your emergency contacts, the open house feature, where, as you saw in the demo, it prompts you to put how many hours, how many minutes, and that total number of minutes will populate if it's 300 and whatever, 50 or whatever. And then if for some reason you don't want to take an image, I can't force people to take a picture of a face. It could be a squirrel or a tree. Whatever you take a picture of is what will be seen. But if you don't like that feature, aren't comfortable with it, you can turn it off. But I wouldn't pick and choose. That's not what it's designed for. Either use it for everybody or don't use it for anybody. But I know it can deter crime. That's what criminals are most afraid of, especially if they have a mugshot. If you're able to get a fresh picture of their face and you tell them that before you meet with them, they're not going to show up, and it can be what saves your life. The emergency alarm button is in the menu section. So you tap here 1 second, 2 seconds. It calls 911 in 10 seconds. It sends your 3 emergency contacts your exact location, who you're with, and an image of their face if you hopefully took a picture. This is another talking point graphic, just teaching you to be in control when you do open houses. Greet people at the door, or in your weather, probably at the door, not outside if it's cold. But before they come inside, you just say, hey, I'm required. The homeowners have asked me to be in control of safety. I just need to get a photo. If there are 10 people, it's the actionable step of taking that photo that can save your life. Not 10 pictures, 1 photo, 10 people. This is where your showings are stored under My Showings. This is what you'll see. It'll have the date, the time, the buyer or seller's name, the address. Again, you don't have to type anything in. It's going to auto-populate. If you made a note in the notes section, the CRM section where you saw I put buying in September, that's where you'll see that note. This is the last step. When you press the end showing button, it prompts you just like Uber and Lyft. How did you feel working with the buyer or seller from a safety standpoint? This is not meant for anything other than to help us each other as an industry to deter crime and kind of give alerts. But most of the time it's going to be 5 stars. Just like Uber and Lyft, you have to give a person at least 1 star. This is an example. I was working with Kim Hall here in Charleston. Here's her unique phone number. She comes to your market and you're using our app and you're doing what we teach, and you're on the phone with Kim and you say, hey, Kim, I just want to let you know that we use Safe Showings. We're passionate about safety. It's just the world we live in. So all I'll do before we go in every home or property Saturday when we're together is I just take 1 photo of us together, or you can do a simple 1 shot. It's up to you as a realtor to decide if you want to do a selfie with them to have kind of a record of who you're with for fun. But more importantly, it's for safety. It's just the world we live in. Whatever you want to say, but you do want to let them know that that's part of your safety process. But Kim's going to probably interrupt you and say, I know about the app. I work with Helen in Charleston. I'm already in the system. But even if she doesn't, when you're in the safety of your office and you're setting all your appointments for showings or for working with buyers, you press the create showing button and it says, who are you meeting with? Again, you're in the safety of your office. You type in Kim Hall, her phone pops up, you touch on it, it goes up into the app. You're going to see her picture. If I had a situation that wasn't comfortable, I probably would have given her 1 star, and I would put, hey, call me. Here's my cell phone. I want to explain what happened. I just want you to be safe. So it helps us as an industry to tell each other how we felt working with a buyer or a seller to protect each other. If your timer runs out, you don't press the end showing button and 45 minutes expires, your 3 emergency contacts will get a text message saying something could be wrong to check on you. It'll have a 3D image of your exact location, an address, the buyer or seller's name, and an image, and hopefully you took a picture of a face. You see why that's important. You also, coming this year, it's not part of the package right today. We're in the development phase of adding a background check. It'll cost more, but maybe at a point of upgrade, we can talk about that once we've got it up and running, but that's going to be a reverse lookup from the phone. If you don't have a cell signal, follow the same protocol, excuse me. Let everyone know that you have a process for safety. Sometimes you'll know the property doesn't have cell signal, but you still role play it the same way. You may want to consider buying a mobile router so you always have cell signal, or you could meet them at your office first, start the Safe Showings app, follow the prompts that we've taught, and capture the photo where you have cell signal. If you choose to do that, all that information again goes to the cloud. So when you get back in range, if your timer has expired, your emergency contacts are going to have that information. It's always good to let your emergency contacts know too. If you know in advance, hey, I'm showing property that doesn't have cell signal, just want you to know that. Check on me by this time. This is the buyer's name, and I'll be texting you an image of their face. And you're already a partner with us. We're so excited. I want to show you how to register for Safe Showings. It's very simple. Let's see here. Again, don't go to the App Store. If you do, we'll get you straightened out. Don't worry about it, but you'll be charged for the app and you'll see an error message, and I don't want you to have to go through that. You want to use the link provided by your association. This is what that link will look like, and that download button is where you're going to tap, and it's going to take you to the free version of Safe Showings. And I'm going to show you a quick instructional video in case you want to see how it is to register. This is recorded, so here we go. Hi, I'm Helen Hudson, the founder of Safe Showings. I'm also a realtor in Charleston, South Carolina. I created Safe Showings because 3 years ago, I had a situation where I feared my own personal safety. You're receiving this video because your MLS, association, or brokerage has purchased Safe Showings Enterprise for you, so congratulations. In order to receive it for free, you do have to follow the instructions on this flyer. It's super simple. You click under option 1 there, the download button, the download link. It takes you to this screen, then you press the button that says register here. Then it takes you to this step where you enter your cell phone number, your first name, your last name, your email address. Be careful when you're typing in all this information, make sure it's accurate, and also create a password. Then click the agree to terms and press proceed. The next thing that'll happen is you'll receive a 4-digit code to your cell phone. Enter the 4-digit code here and press the button. It will take you to this screen. The last step is you click the button that says send the link. The link goes to your phone. If you have an iPhone, you click the first option at the top that's highlighted. If you have an Android, you click the one for Android. Then if you want to know more about our app under option 2, you can click learn how it works, and it takes you to this instructional video.
By downloading these.
And we know you just saw that, but it'll be attached in that flyer so you can view that recording again to kind of refresh your memory how our app does work. What questions do you have? And Olivia, I don't know if there's questions in the chat room or if you want to unmute to everyone, if there's any other questions that I haven't covered.
Actually, if anyone has any questions, could you raise your hand in the chat area? If you want to do that, we can ask questions that way. Okay, Mary, you can go ahead and unmute yourself here.
Hi, this is Mary Gandolfo in Wisconsin. I'm wondering if you have a video that we could share with our membership at our next meeting. This is brilliant. And I would like to be able to make sure that we have everything accurately.
Yes, ma'am. What we can do, the full presentation, I have a recorded version because I knew that that could come up. You'll see everything you just saw minus maybe the background check slide because that's so new. But we just did a full recording of, it's 20 minutes. So it's me by myself doing the full presentation. Is that what you're asking for?
That is, thank you so much. Now, how can we get that?
I'll send it to Olivia. Is that the best approach, Olivia? Or if you want to
Yeah.
send your email, either way, maybe Olivia will want to share it with everyone to share. with their-
Yeah, if you send it to me, we'll put it on our handouts page along with the flyer that I have put into the chat a couple of times. I've already sent that over to be added to the handouts page. So if it's not there right now, it will be in just a few minutes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, and it looks like Carol has her hand up. Carol, go ahead.
Yes, so you said that you needed to take a picture at each showing. So if you have multiple showings with one client, do you have to take the picture every single time you go to the new house?
No, I'm sorry. I did probably misspoke there. It's just one time. Now, if let's say you have 5 showings with that one person, just the first house, because it stays in the cloud. I do recommend if you work with the client again, it might be overkill, but it doesn't hurt to just stay in the habit of taking a photo. If you work with them the following weekend, they might bring their spouse. So you want to get a fresh photo because you think about when you have photos, if there's a crime committed, they're always asking what were they wearing, or if you were afraid you weren't murdered, you would be able to tell them instead of being worried and trying to remember. We'd have that image in the cloud. So that's a good safety protocol, and it lets people know that you're consistent and that you mean business and you care about safety.
Right, great. Thanks, Helen. Well, unfortunately, we've run out of time for questions because our next session will be starting, but I do see that a couple of you still have your hands up. Helen, if they do want to reach out to you, is there a place that they can contact, or
Yes.
like there's something you suggest?
Yes, absolutely. It's helen@safeshowings.com or info@safeshowings.com. There's my direct cell phone, but Helen at the face, just do Safe Showings. It's easier to remember. Helen@safeshowings.com. My cell phone number is there. Maybe screenshot it and just send me an email and I'll answer your individual questions. And we'll get this recorded presentation out to Olivia in a few minutes.
Yes,